Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everybody, how's life today? I'm pretty good and I hope you all very well too. Okay, in this sections, I would like to tell you about recount text and I would like to share you about the social function of recount text, the generic structures, the language features, the chronological connections, and the last is the verb that used in recount text. Okay. Now we are moved to our materials. So what is recount text? Okay, recount text is the text that tells the readers about one story, action, or activity in the past. Or we can call the recount text as a text that tells the reader about the past experience or the past event. Okay, you understand? Now, social function or the purpose of recount text. Okay, the purpose of recount text is to retell events for the purpose of informing or entertaining. So, the social function of recount text is to retell the reader about the past experience, to informing and then to entertaining the reader about the past event. Okay, the next is kind of recounts. There are three kinds of recount text. The first is personal recount. Okay, the personal recount is based on the writer's personal story. So the writer's experience, So the second is factual recounts, recording an incident, a police report. So this is, it is important experience or events that ever occurred before. And the last is imaginative recounts, imaginative story based on the real event. Example, there is the legend of like that. Okay, we have moved to our materials. Okay, the generic structures of recount text. There are three generic structures. The first is orientation, the second is event, and the last is reorientation. Orientation is introducing the participant, place, and the time the story takes place. So this is the background of the story. Okay, the who, where, and the when story take place. Okay, the orientation in the beginning of the paragraph, usually in the beginning of the paragraph. So the move is event. Event is describing series of events that happened in the past. So the event is the story of the event. The series, the event is the series of the experience of the story. Okay, the event usually in the next paragraph after the orientation. Okay. The last is reorientation, the conclusion of the story. Okay, the orientation. In this section, there are the writer comments about the story or the past experience. Okay, we move to language features that use in recount text. The first is introducing personal participant. Because the writer personal story, so this is the example of introducing personal participant. Like my experience, climb the walls or anything. The next is using past tense, using chronological connection, using link event in time, and using action verb. Past tense. Okay, the pattern of past tense, first is subject plus verb to. If it doesn't have a verb, we can use subject plus to be. The to be that used is was or were. Okay. The first example is Yeri took a bath this morning. Why use took? Because took is the verb to, the verb one is take. Because this is past tense, we use verb to. So the Yeri took a bath in this morning. Yeri is the subject and took is verb. The second example, we were happy in this place. Because it doesn't have a verb, so we use to be. The to be is were. Okay, understand? Okay. When next to conjunction, The connection. Example, then I found his head in my bag. Also, the robber called the police after I called her. Okay, this is use the conjunction then and after as the connection of the sentence. Okay. Now we move to link event in time. Usually use then, last, finally, as soon, after that, suddenly, and etc. The example, after that, built a castle from sand. Okay, the example is using after that and suddenly. This is the link event in time that used in recount text. Okay. Okay, the next is action verb. Using verb to. Okay, verb to is defined into irregular verb and regular verb. Okay, because verb is defined into regular and irregular. The regular verb is using ad in the behind of the word, but regular verb is is very different from verb 1 and verb 2 or verb 3. Okay, you have to know the word before. Okay, the example, I went to my grandma's home last week. We use when because when is verb 2. The verb 1 is go. This is action verb. When is action verb. Okay. The second, we stay at the hotel for 3 days. We stay. Stay is indicate action verb. This is regular verb because using ad in the behind of the word stay. Okay. Are you understand? Okay. We have moved to okay, the example of the text. I have a text that the title is Vacation to the Parent-Teacher Speech. There are 3 paragraphs. You have to read it to understand what the meaning of the paragraph of the text. So you have to read it first. After you read it, you have to identify what is the features language that use, what is the connection, what is the generic structures. Okay. I have an example of identifying the generic structures. Okay, because there are 3 paragraphs. The first paragraph is orientation, the second paragraph is event, and the last paragraph is reorientation. Okay, orientation is the first paragraph because orientation in the beginning of the paragraph, even the second paragraph because even in the next paragraph after orientation, and the last is reorientation, the conclusion, the comment of the writer about the story in the last paragraph. It's in the third paragraph. Okay, that's all from my explanation about recount text. I hope you all understand what about my explanation about recount text, and I hope you create or to make a recount text based on your experience, and you have to use the features language connection, and you have to identify what is the generic structures. Okay, I think that's all for my explanation about recount text. I hope you understand, and I'm sorry for making mistake because I only human. Okay, that's all, and see you soon. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay.